Hi, this tape is on practice habits and form. It's probably one of the more important tapes that we're going to run through here because it has to do with your progress and how you approach this, the whole deal. Let me paint a picture here. Let's say you're going to plan a vacation. Okay, well, we can just hop in the car and go. Well, sometimes, being spontaneous and stuff like that is interesting, but most of the time it's interesting in the wrong way. If you haven't planned, you arrive where you're going, and for some reason there's a convention in town and there's no motel rooms. You didn't check on eating places. You're just not prepared. Consequently, naturally, a vacation like that can be, as I said, exciting in more ways than one. In practice, we found through experience that in early stages, students tend to practice wrong about 80% of the time. That means 80% of the time you're putting into this is just going into the wind, simply because they're not organized, they're not set up, and they're not approaching this on the right level. So this is the reason why I say this tape is probably one of the more important tapes that you'll get when it comes to learning this style. You can learn ever so many fancy fingers and finger patterns and pulls and hammers and stuff like that. But if your strategies as far as practice are not correct, then you're going to be 10 times as long and really chase your tail a great deal. To start off with, first of all, a lot of people say, well, this guitar, I'll just get started on the guitar I got, and then if things pan out right, I'll invest in a good guitar. Big mistake. I see the advertisements in the newspaper all the time for these kinds of guitars. Good for a beginner. Well, who said they're good for a beginner? As I mentioned in the manual in the early stages, if you read through it, that's one of the main problems that students come up against. They're trying to play on a guitar that I couldn't play. I've played for 40, 50 years, and some of these guitars that students bring in, I just shake my head and say, don't waste your time and mine. Come back when you've got a tool that you can work with. So we start out by setting the stage, for this. Now that tool should come in tune. It should stay in tune. It should play decent. It should have a fairly clean set of strings on. If you're listening to grubby strings, you're not picking up a good sense of pitch. Keep in mind, you develop a sense of pitch by being exposed to it, just like a color. So in this direction, these factors all play a real important role. If your string height is right, if your guitar is in tune, then and only then are you set up to go on this. And I've done a lot of tapes on string science and stuff like that. As I said, this has been a career of mine for a long time. It's been a passion of mine, not just a career. So I've looked at it really closely, and I can save you a lot of time and effort if you just listen and follow, what I do. Now, keeping in mind too that when you set up to practice, don't just pick any time to practice. You should plan to practice. It's kind of like money. You say, well, I'm going to save some money. Well, what do you think? At the end of the month, if I have some money left over, I'm going to save it. Well, dream on. It doesn't happen. You come up with a savings plan. It's so simple, but most people don't look at it this way. If you're really going to progress on this, and if you're really going to dig through and do it right, you're going to plan to do it. When you get up in the day, say, okay, now, what time have I allotted in this day to practice? Because if you don't allot the time, most people's schedules do not allow for practice time or anything. If you're one that has plenty of time, you're one of the few. Most people have 2 or 3 jobs and 4 kids and God knows what this day and age, which I suppose is normal for the world nowadays. But which means even more that you're going to have to plan to do this.